Hit it, Buttercup.
On this episode of Star Trek Universe, we are talking about Lower Decks 309, Trusted Sources, right after these words from our mystery sponsors.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you get to listen in on two lifelong friends chat about Star Trek like they've been doing a long time. My name's Matthew Carroll.
I am David C. Robertson.
Dave.
Yes.
What is going on in your life right now? What's the headline?
I don't know, man. I ain't got no headline. Man.
I mean, it's moved back a good ways, but it's still there.
Yeah. No. It just got patchy. It thinned out. It didn't really move back. Yeah, just been busy, man. Black Adam came out. Henry Cavill's back as Superman.
Did you and Jason get to do an episode yet?
Yeah, we did. We just finished recording. Well, I put out a First Thoughts episode the night I saw it on Thursday night. And then we just tonight recorded a spoiler-filled dual conversation about Black Adam. Henry Cavill announced today that he's back as Superman officially, which is very exciting. The Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 trailer came out, and that looks great. Yeah. Like, I'm just super excited about all this stuff coming.
Yeah, the thing about the Ant-Man trailer that I got most excited for is when I realized, like, I know it's like they're going to the quantum realm. It's called Quantum Mania and all this stuff, but like, when I really thought about it, they've been setting this up because, like, in the first movie, like, you know, Janet's lost in the quantum realm and he has to, like, shrink down to quantum, and that's like how the movie ends with him, like, risking his life to enter the quantum realm. And then in the second movie, that he causes that signal to be in his brain where he's connected to Janet or whatever, and then they have to go into the quantum realm to get her or whatever. And it's like just like a little excursion into the quantum. It's just sort of like everything's been pointing to the quantum realm. So while it's it seems like it's going to be a big Kang movie, you know, the introduction of Kang or whatever. It's also like a really reasonable, like, next step for the trilogy or whatever. Like, I'm really, really pumped about it.
One of the things I liked about it was I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Instead of her just like floating out there for like 50 years or something. No, she's actually been hanging out at the bar. She got an apartment, you know. She goes to the quantum realm gym. Works out a little bit every day. Like,
hangs out at the hive of scum and villainy that is the bar there.
Right. They have their own version of Hot Pockets. Really tasty late night snack, you know.
Yeah, when she first returned from the quantum realm, she had like all those weapons and different clothing and all this stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, she's been doing something. And so it's almost weird. She says in the trailer, like, there's something I didn't tell you. And I'm wondering if it's like something specific or like, did she not tell them about the whole society down there? Because that's weird.
That would be weird if she was just like...
Yeah. It's like, by the way, there were other people there.
And they were also affected by the snap. Or were they? That's a whole other problem.
Oh, yeah, a whole other thing. Why didn't you tell us this? You never asked. You guys are really uncurious about my life.
It broke the universe!
Oh man, okay.
What happened with the snap in the quantum realm?
Well, my belief is the quantum realm is the space between universes. That's my personal belief. I haven't decided yet.
Is it the white space in between the panels?
Yeah, exactly. Precisely, my friend. Well, we got other drawn figures to talk about this fine evening.
Yes, we do.
A little Lower Decks action. What do you think of this episode 9?
In the last act, I really, really regretted that I didn't like the first 2 acts. Because it turned into a really good episode. Because it was like, all of a sudden they're at this, in the middle of a war with the Breen, and it looked really dope and everything, and I loved it, and it was just gorgeous, like the ships and everything. But I thought the characters, even for Lower Deck standards, were very, very out of character. Or at the very least, it's so exaggerated that they were a little out of character. Like, I always hate in TV shows, like, the thing where I don't know, is it dramatic irony? Is that what we're going to call this? Where we know that she didn't say the thing, or it's just like one of those conversations where all they had to say was like, hey, asshole, I didn't say the thing. I said this.
Well, yeah, it's not exactly dramatic irony because we didn't know that either.
Right. So it's not dramatic irony. So
yeah.
I mean,
she knows it, but
as a person who watches a lot of TV, I knew it without knowing it. But
right.
It was really disheartening, and it makes me dislike the crew of the Cerritos so much. It's hard because, like, on the one hand, it's like, yes, all you had to do was say this, and that would have been a simple fix. But at the same time, it's like, this is a very real thing Mariner's been dealing with the entire series, is that everyone thinks that she's the bad person, that she's the troublemaker. When, everyone on the Cerritos is, borderline incompetent. So she might be the only competent person on the Cerritos.
Yeah, that really has been her. I mean, it's been sort of her arc as like this character that doesn't know if she fits into the Federation, Yeah. And this episode really pushes her out of the Federation. She finally goes like, no, they're just not like, they're not paying attention. They're not listening to me. They're not, letting me do what needs to be done. And yeah, it's been a problem since the very first episode. When she's like breaking Federation protocol because she's doing things that actually need to help, and she's done less and less of that, it seems, over time. And lately she's been sort of falling in line and being more of a team player, which is she does in this episode. She's still more of a team player and tries to actually help with the interview and everything, but they don't trust her. And so she gets pushed away. Real Anakin Skywalker vibes from Clone Wars.
I'm guessing that it just got around the ship that everyone should be furious with her because she said some supposedly really bad things. Otherwise, everyone should have known, oh, no, I said that. Oh, shit.
Well, it's also, what did they really say? Because when you actually listen to what they're saying, a lot of the stuff she says is they say are just like experiences the crew went through. They aren't necessarily like bad mouthing her. Like when she makes the list, it's like, you had this happen and this happened, and he grew to the size, huge size, and tried to eat the ship like a hamburger. Like that's just all stuff the crew's gone through. Like none of that stuff's really like bad. The crew didn't do anything bad. It's just kind of silly antics, It is a lot of things.
Some of them were, not even telling anything bad that they thought. They were just like sniping about like other departments and stuff.
Yeah. So I think it's more about like the journalists sort of like filtering the stuff to make an interesting article or something. And then, Mariner just didn't even say anything that was remotely bad. So there was nothing to even do that with. She went in there to be like, yeah, well, she was being sort of petulant by going in and being like, you don't want me to do it? I'll show you I can give a good interview. And she went in and gave this like glowing interview and then still got shit for it.
Yeah, which I guess is it feels like what is the captain's name? Freeman. Carol Freeman. It seems like she has been on a steady path of losing her shit all season. Like she's been getting worse and worse. She's got Mariner on thin ice over here with Ransom, who, God help him, actually looked sad and actually looked like he was shocked that she decided to transfer Mariner to Starbase 80.
Yeah, for
who
sure.
actually looked like, oh my God, you've gone too far, lady.
Yeah, and then in the end, they find out she really did because she wasn't even correct in her assumptions.
Yeah. And man, I mean, I expected it from both, but man, it hurt my heart when her Andorian girlfriend turned on her.
Yeah, that was terrible.
And when Mariner walked away and she was crying, I was like, oh God, that sucks. That hurts, man. But I knew it was going to have to happen. I didn't even realize we were this close to the end of the season, but I was like, I told you a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, the episode where we found out, or we met Petra, the archaeologist girl. I said, she's going to have to break up with the girl, and she's going to have to get kicked off the ship or leave the ship. Find a reason to leave Starfleet so she can wind up with that girl by the end of the season.
I knew. Yeah, we talked to it definitely coming. I don't know if I didn't say the end of the season for sure. But yeah, that's, I don't remember. But yeah, like that's That definitely was heading that way. I honestly, they've been planting these little seeds about different, big mysteries. And because of the way TNG kind of works, where like they bring back something like every season or so, not like necessarily like every episode or because the way this show's been structured, more like TNG, I have been expecting that. But yeah, this came back pretty quick.
Yeah.
Which I dig it.
I'm also a little afraid that because Mike McMahon is such a huge fan of TNG, that he's going to introduce a whole bunch of storylines, like maddening, mystery box kind of things that just never get resolved because that's what TNG did all the time.
Oh, I hope not. I hope that would be terrible. That would be terrible. That's a bug, not a feature, man. Bug, not a feature.
I know, man. They have a throwaway line, Rutherford saying some shit about like, I wonder whatever happened to all that stuff with my headset. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what did you think about the planets they visit? I really liked the one where they've turned away from that drug and they've become fitness like obsessed.
Oh yeah,
that's really good.
Do you remember? Really good. Do you remember the TNG episode that they're from?
I don't. No,
there's an episode called Symbiosis, and it was not a great episode. It was very heavy-handed, but
sure.
And it had a couple of Wrath of Khan vets on it and playing different characters. But I enjoyed that. Like I really liked. They got there and they're like, yeah, we're all fitness buffs now because
I love the mural that they have.
That so mural is fantastic.
It's so good.
But I've known, drug addicts, former drug addicts.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them just get like super into fitness. Like,
yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I was just like, yeah, that does track in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah. It's definitely a trope that they're playing with. I loved the line, what do you bench? And they're like, oh, we don't do it for the numbers. We do it to quiet the voices in our head.
There were some really great lines.
There were.
I loved that. I loved Rutherford telling him, give me the pie, phaser me if you have to, pulling his shirt open,
Yeah, I love my body needs crust.
Yeah.
I've been starving myself for this day. My body needs crust. So good.
I did really enjoy that. Yes. It was an episode of Lower Decks, but it was a little out there for me. It was a little too much. They just did a little too much bending specifically here at the end to get Mariner where they wanted her to be, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't find it too out of character. I feel like that Mariner's been growing and changing and the ship isn't seeing that growth and change. And that makes sense. And I think it like fits with most of the characters. That didn't bother me so much, but I did find it just to be mostly not that spectacular of a standalone episode, I guess. It felt like a lot of things happen and none of it felt very cohesive. She's trying to, like the fact they visit 2 different planets and it's just sort of like, well, that one didn't work out. Let's keep going. And it just feels a little overstuffed and not the best way.
Yeah.
No one plot is really fully fleshed out to the point where it feels solid.
I had seen some people complaining that in this time of need for Mariner, they didn't really have anything with Tendi, anything with Rutherford.
Yeah.
Or Boimler in her corner. And I think that was done purposefully because this entire season, that was one of the things I really liked because this entire season, they've been like hammering home this idea of family and those 4 sticking together and being so close. And I think they would have to have been busy doing something else for Mariner to feel alone enough to actually want to give up.
Well, I guess the giving up is one thing, yeah, but the leaving the ship without like a solid goodbye is weird a little bit.
Yeah.
Being like, go to Starbase 80, and then we don't get a scene where I don't think we get a scene where they're like even, saying goodbye or whatever.
Yeah.
So I see what they're saying out there in the internet lands.
I can too.
Okay, let's talk about the Breen. I think it's really interesting. The Breen, I don't know. So the Jem'Hadar had the Ketracel White.
Yeah.
And the fact that this planet was a producer of, and last we saw the Breen, they were allies with the Dominion for the war. So like it made me wonder if like this planet that produced a drug to basically enslave the other planet or whatever, you know?
Nah, I don't think so. Like
had any kind of connection.
I mean, that's a good idea. I don't see any reason for it other than, hey, maybe.
Well, yeah, I just thought it was interesting because one of their allies is the Jem'Hadar, who's stuck on Catch So White in this. I don't know.
Yeah,
those two plot lines are very similar, and I could see like if this planet lost its revenue source because it was no longer working with this other planet because Picard shut it off. Now the Breen come around being like, well, you could also produce some of this for us, and
I do like the idea that like maybe the Breen learned something from the founders and have started being drug pushers to control the masses. I do like that idea.
Yeah, that could be cool. Could be cool. All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this episode had some funny lines, but other than that, it didn't really like land for me. I agree. I think it was like an episode to get Mariner where they wanted her.
Yeah.
Oh. Not that I think it's totally forced, but I think like it feels like a setting up pieces and moving her away.
Yeah.
Kind of
by the way, they did kind of have a goodbye.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Actually,
the goodbyes are the worst parts. Let's just not say anything. Mariner, you can't leave the Cerritos. Yeah, I can. This always happens.
Yeah, that's right.
I
couldn't even remember it. It's like I don't know. It didn't hit me in the heart, which is just a bummer because I do care about these characters, and I like if the family's breaking up and Mariner's leaving. When she leaves, she does like proper Vulcan salute. Why didn't you do the upside down one? That would have been a better callback. Was it upside down or was it backwards? It was something. I don't know.
It was. I don't remember, but
like the very first episode.
I think it's better that it's proper because she's sad.
Yeah. True. I really like that they call her Bucket Mariner.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot. Let's see what Stu said because Stu wrote in.
Yeah, Stu
will save us. He'll save the cast. Because it's in shambles. Damn it.
Yep, we're falling apart over here.
We don't give a shit about this. No, it was okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
Just wasn't good.
Yeah. One more line. I was trying to remember the lines that I really loved, and the Meemaw on the screen was just very funny.
Oh, Miggly Moo's mother.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was weird.
Call my Meemaw. She needs to see her little boy in the big chair.
I want to like that character so much more than I do.
I feel like he's on a different show. Like he feels like he's on, I don't know, an even sillier show than this show, which is saying something. Yeah,
it's Paul F. Tompkins, isn't it?
Yeah, who I love and adore. Paul F. Tompkins.
Do. I like him. Stuart Little has an email called "Time to Come Clean." I don't know.
Ooh.
He says, "Hey guys, so Matt, you asked last week if Dave was me just because my email had some similar thoughts to his." And the answer is, kinda. Oh, okay, that's a twist. I don't...
Dave, what is this email going to say?
I don't know.
You're like realizing like a Fight Club moment here.
I told you, I don't read these before air. I don't know. Yeah, see, I'm actually Dave's alternate personality that he isn't aware of. Oh, you called it. You called it.
I did.
There's plenty we do agree on, since I'm part of him, but I'm also a manifestation of his subconscious ambivalence about certain things. See, that proves that that's not true, because I don't know what ambivalence means. No, I'm kidding. I really don't care about the visual continuity of how the Enterprise looks in Strange New Worlds compared to TOS, for instance. I am a more childlike, less cynical side of your personality. Oh, I don't believe that shit. Which is why you sound like you're at a 5th grade reading level when you read my emails at times. Jesus Christ. Oh, this may sound far-fetched, but think about it. Have you ever seen the two of us in the same room? Or even the same country?
It's a great point.
Do you think it's a coincidence the most prolific responder to this show is a Scotsman? given the nationality of the franchise's most famous chief engineer? Would a real person fixate so much about how many Australians there are in Starfleet? Or how about the fact that this is the Star Trek Universe podcast? Star Trek Universe, STU, Stu. Mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yes. That was great, Stu.
I'm so tempted to actually try to argue against this.
No, you can't, man. It's solid logic. He's got you. He's inside you.
I didn't want the name Star Trek Universe. That was your thing, and I was too lazy to come up with another thing. Maybe I'm you too. Kidding. Just kidding. Or am I? Quote unquote trusted sources. That's this episode we're talking about today. This was good and took me by surprise with how it seemed like a story of the week episode, only to turn into bringing up a lot of continuity with Lower Decks in general and having a big change for Mariner. I totally bought that she did tell the reporter bad stuff, so the reveal she did the opposite was a genuine twist and showed her growth as a character. Though given her past, it was also understandable why she didn't get the benefit of the doubt. Revisiting the subject of a TNG episode was nice, even if I don't know if I buy that Starfleet would go 17 years without checking up on a situation. Only now you don't, they didn't check up on Khan, Stu.
Yeah. It sounds like that's like a common thread, which, when she said that, they're like, ooh, he just left? He just took their drug away and left?
Yeah, that's what he did.
Universe is a big place, man.
I remember that story having a bit of a very special episode type vibe. I totally did. In a scene where Wesley was confused about why people would get addicted to drugs and Tasha explaining it through her own people's history. The seriousness of the situation was addressed, but they did find some humor with how the I can't say that word, Ornarans, God, what's wrong with me? Became milk toast fitness fanatics once they got clean. Also, the bringing her back, baby. They're not just a weird visual ripoff of Princess Leia's bounty hunter disguised from Return of the Jedi. This show has a surprising amount of irons it throws into the fire for a sitcom, including this new Texas class business. Oh yeah, the automated drone thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure a subfleet of fully automated ships will be totally safe and not be taken over by some shadowy cabal or something in the future.
I was thinking more like it was going to be, they're just going to need a lot less ships like the Cerritos because they can handle a lot of things so they start like maybe decommissioning the smaller ships that do smaller things because now they've got these Texas class that can go around and do things automated. You know what?
It'll probably be a combination of what you and Stu are saying. It'll probably be that for next season, but then it'll turn out that they, right when they think the California class is about to be, extinct because of it, Section 31 will take it over or some shit.
Right. And then it's a triumphant rebellion of California class ships will have to rise from the ashes to fight the Texas class.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll never hear about it again.
Yeah, like I was saying, he just
exactly
really playing into the TNG mystery boxes.
We could spend a 3-episode yarn here, or a 3-season yarn about what they could do with that plot line, or we'll never hear about it again.
All right. Stu says, though, when they first scanned it and said there were no life forms, I thought we were getting a holographically created vessel. He says hologrammatically created vessel, but I have to assume he meant something else. I wonder how long Mariner's absence from Starfleet will be, and if another character will fill her role in Beta Shift for a while. Maybe time to bring back the Vulcan officer from Wijduj, who got transferred to Starfleet. Oh, man, I liked her, too.
Yeah, me too. Hey, mentioning that, too, he said the thing about Beta Shift, and, I loved the line, wait, I didn't know there was an Alpha Shift. As if, he thought they were the best shift, or, the first shift, I don't know, that's just really silly.
Yeah, it is.
Silly joke, but I like it.
Stu says, P.S. Dave, before I forget / dissolve back into your psyche, you need to buy new milk. It goes off tomorrow. I assume it goes off tomorrow means it goes out of date. Or it expires?
Yeah, you would know that if you had the memories and like experiences of your alter, but apparently you don't.
Yeah, okay.
Apparently you guys need some integration.
I mean, damn it, man.
I love this. I love this subplot. It's my favorite Star Trek Universe podcast subplot.
Yeah, so I'll just start slipping in and out and piss Stu off. I'll be like, I'm from Glasgow. Hey, I don't like people from Britain.
Yep,
Dave's wrong about the ship. Bloody hell. Like the worst impersonation I could possibly do.
Yep. Yeah, and I like how since he insulted your reading, you went back and read his mistake in writing instead of just fixing it on the fly like you would normally do. You did it. Yeah. You fixed it on the fly and then went back to petulantly make sure he knew that you saw the misspelling.
Yeah. That's right.
You and your alter are fighting.
Welcome to Fight Club 2.
It's like way less stakes. Like they had Project Mayhem. We have Podcast Mayhem.
No. If I feel like if me and Stu were somehow in the same body, we would just have twice the stakes but it would be like beef steaks, and we'd be like, "Man, this is a really good juicy steak," and he'd be like, "Hey, damn your eyes! It's a fine steak, yargy yargy." And
what the fuck? Was that supposed to be a Scottish accent, or were you going for pirate? It's like,
is there a difference?
This is directly a pirate accent.
I'm just saying a bunch of shit, like looking forward to Stu's next email.
All right. Jolan True, my friends.
Hey, live long and prosper, me mateys. I'm from Glasgow. Yarg, yarg.
Thank you for joining us for the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Available everywhere you get podcasts, and now a video version streaming live on twitch.tv/strandedpandatv and available at youtube.com/strandedpanda. And if you'd like to learn more about all of our other podcasts, geeky projects, and ways to support the network, visit strandedpanda.com.